Hello patrons! For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how I sketch this street scene at a road junction. This is the pen and ink sketch we are going to draw for the first part of this tutorial. Let's analyze this reference photo first, which you can download from the video description below. So this is a street scene at a road junction. We have this big building here, a two-story shop house here, which is going to be my main subject. So I will be drawing this first and then work my way to the left side to draw the shop houses across the street, which are in perspective. You can see the diagonal lines, they point here, so the vanishing point is somewhere around here. And because this is in perspective, it's sort of like squashed. Anyway, when drawing on location, I will be drawing this first so that if the weather changes or if I have to leave for whatever reason, at least I have the main subject drawn. The sketchbook I'm using today is the St. Louis Art Supply sketchbook with cold pressed watercolor paper made with 25% cotton content. And this pen is the Pilot penmanship with EF nib. The first thing I want to draw is this lamppost here on the right side because that's the longest line or the tallest subject. So once I can fit this lamppost in the scene, sorry, is it? Oh yeah, this is a lamppost, yeah, correct. Street lamp in the scene, I will be able to fit all the other elements. There is this surveillance camera here, which I want to draw. And I want to draw this structure here that is holding up the decoration. This seems to be another lamppost, street lamp, and it ends right here. Yep, it ends right here. We have some signs here, road signs, one circle, one rectangle, and we have some decorations there which we will draw later on. And then I can draw the other street lamp across the street. Yep. So this is going to be a pretty sketchy sketch. So I have just marked out the boundaries for my sketch, and now I can sketch everything within all these marks that I have on the paper. So I'm going to start with the shop house first. So we have this roof. The corner of the roof here aligns with this horizontal line here, almost horizontal line here. We have the roof that goes up slightly because of perspective, and then it comes down. So when I'm drawing, I am not I don't think that I'm drawing a roof, I'm just drawing lines that are tilted at an angle. It makes it easier for you to, sometimes when you draw a roof, you have this, your mind may play tricks on you. So it's good to think in terms of shape, in terms of angles. Oops, okay, this part here, you can see in the reference photo, the street lamp actually juts out by quite a bit, so I made an error here. This is a good time for me to explain this particular error as well. So you see here, it's very busy. So when you're drawing, sometimes you can use your own artistic impression to maybe extend or make the overlap more obvious. So in this case, if you take a look at the reference photo, the overlap is actually there. The street lamp actually comes out by quite a bit. But if the street lamp is actually like this in real life, you can make that adjustment and have the street lamp come out more significantly so that it presents a clearer image or a clearer sketch. So here in this case, the street lamp, it doesn't read as clear compared to if the street lamp actually comes out more. We have a signboard here, which is rectangle tilted at an angle. There is some volume to the signboard. And we have this pillar here. Personally, I prefer drawing with a fine nib rather than an extra fine nib, but sometimes I do enjoy drawing with very delicate thin lines. Drawing with EF nibs, extra fine nibs, it makes it easier for you to draw details. But sometimes you can get too caught up with drawing details. Okay, so let me just divide this two-story shop house into the upper and lower floor. And then divide again into different sections using the pillars here, which will extend all the way down like this, and we have some volume here and here, which goes to the right side. Seems to be some signboards behind this street lamp. Okay, there is a bicycle there, which I want to draw. I'll just draw the wheels first to remind me that there's a bicycle there. Okay, and did I draw this correctly? Okay, I think I may have messed up my proportion a bit. Okay, there's a person here wearing a face mask, walking across the street, carrying a plastic bag. Now when drawing people in real life, you have to draw like really fast because they are, well, moving. Okay, this will come down. There is an awning here, a shelter here. And we can now fill in the little details like windows. So you can see this sketch, it's coming to life very quickly. We have a window here as well. Let's divide it into two and draw the little squares inside with the little vents. Or in this case here, you may not even need to draw the square or rectangle. You can just draw the horizontal lines to represent the vents. It really depends on how much space you have on your page if you want to include or leave out some details. Now for this Malay, Indian lady, I wanted to say Malay lady, but she's actually an Indian lady. The head, it's slightly higher compared to the head of this guy here. Now, when I took this photo, I probably was squatting down. So my eye level is actually at the chest level of these people. Okay, she is carrying a bag. So if you're going to draw more human figures in this particular sketch, then the chest level for all the human figures should be on the same line, should be on the eye level. So that's how you use the eye level to help you draw human figures, to help you place human figures. Okay, so this part here pretty much done. I can add some texture to the roof. Using these lines here to depict the plane of the roof, the surface of the roof. You can choose to draw with lines, or you can choose not to, and later on paint that with watercolor. Okay, so let's draw another window here, but I don't want to add details. I'll just let the lines fade off to the right side. Seems to be some pipe here, the bicycle that I was drawing earlier. And we have an awning here as well, like this. And you see this line here, this line actually goes to the vanishing point, which is somewhere around here. There seems to be a rubbish bin here. And using what I have already drawn, I can draw the shop house behind this. And this line here will also go to the same vanishing point, because this building and this building, they are side by side. They share the same vanishing point. Okay, now this pillar here, it should end higher compared to where the dustbin is. So every time when you draw, always be comparing with other things that you have already drawn. Always compare with other elements that you have already drawn. Wow, for the decorations, I can probably leave the decorations to draw later on. So what I want to do is really to draw the big shapes. We have this signboard coming out from the right side. We have this peacock decoration. It would be nice if you can like really draw all the details of this decoration, but it's going to be very challenging. It's going to take like a lot of time. So here I'm just drawing a suggestion of the decoration, but I should still get the main shapes in. Oh, there is this flame here right in the center. So this is actually Deepavali decorations. Deepavali is a festival celebrated by our Indian friends here in Singapore. Okay, so now I'm going to draw the shop house behind. If you take a look at the reference photo, the diagonal line actually crosses the top of this street lamp and this lamp here. But as mentioned earlier, you can actually use your own artistic impression to make this scene clearer to read. So I'm going to place this diagonal line much higher like this, so that the street lamps are clearer to read. And this is the edge of the building. It will come down here, and then we have another diagonal line here that goes to the vanishing point here. So let's make this diagonal line more diagonal. It's almost horizontal. Okay. And this diagonal line here at the corner of the shop house will go to the vanishing point as well. So let me just place my finger here and draw this line to the vanishing point. It's going to stop somewhere here. And now we can draw the shop house down here. It will end here, aligned to this pillar. There are shorter shop houses. So this is a 3-story shop house. This is a 3rd floor, and this is the 2nd floor. Now these diagonal lines, they will have to go to the vanishing point, which is at the rubbish bin here. And we have another shop house here, and here. Yep, so the bottom of the shop houses will also have to go to the vanishing point, which is again at the rubbish bin, which is actually, the vanishing point is actually at the top of the rubbish bin somewhere here. So these lines will tilt down, whereas the lines on the ground will tilt upwards. Let me just draw some pillars and doorways. And here, so I've just added some little details here. Really small details because they are in the background. It's very difficult to see. Next, we can draw the tall residential buildings. These are actually public housing here in Singapore. So just draw the shape. And because they are in the background, you can actually draw them with really thin lines. If I'm using my other fountain pen, I can turn my fountain pen around and draw with the opposite side of the nib. Now there is decoration here as well, so let me just scribble some decorations here. Okay, we have another residential block here. I will not draw the windows for the residential blocks because I can paint them with watercolor later on. It's easier. Rather than drawing individual squares and painting the windows individually, I'll just skip the step of drawing the square and just paint straight away with watercolor later on. Okay, so let's draw some vehicles on the road. Now vehicles are challenging because they are moving. So when I am drawing the scene like this, I will start by drawing the stationary objects or the stationary buildings, structures, and when there is a traffic jam or if the vehicles are stopped in front of the red light, I will quickly draw the vehicles when they are stationary. And then when the vehicles start moving again, I will go back to draw the stationary elements, the buildings. Okay, so there is a taxi here. The top of the taxi is aligned to the middle of this truck here. So let me draw mid line there. So we have the taxi here, curves down like that. Now drawing vehicles, you really need to focus on what you see rather than what you think you see. Everyone has an idea how a vehicle looks like, but we need to draw the vehicle that is in front of you. So this is the blue taxi that we have here in Singapore. Okay, we can just fill in the details on the shop houses now. So this is where I will just like time lapse this drawing segment. Here's a close-up of the sketch. So you can see some of the straight lines that I have drawn, they are like wavy, especially the bottom part of this taxi here. When I'm drawing a location, I would actually just rotate my sketchbook to help me draw those straight lines easier. And for buildings in the background, for those windows, you can actually just represent them with just one vertical line down, especially for this building here. The only issue that I have is actually with the roof here. So when I drew this part, I lost concentration. So this part here actually should be like closer to this main roof here, the top of the roof here. So that would be the more glaring mistake for me. But of course, for someone who is looking at your sketch, they are not going to know that that's a mistake. Okay, so in the next video, we will paint this quick sketch.